Is your XP doing this on a cold morning? Or maybe it's not just a cold morning anymore. It's doing it all the time. If your vehicle's dash is doing that, maybe none of the gauges, no lights at first, and maybe after you drive a while, it starts to come alive, or it sits there like that, blinking and beeping till you get down the road, it warms up, and it only does it when it's like under 50 degrees. That is going to be a couple of capacitors on the back of your circuit board for the dash. So let me show you how to take it out real quick and show you how to replace it. Yes, you can do it. This is real easy to take off your dash. So take this plastic cover, this plastic bezel over that's on top of the instrument cluster. You're going to think there's a screw right here. I haven't found one that has a screw. I think it's just, I don't know why it's there. But take your hand, reach on this side, and you'll see why, and then grab and just start to wiggle and pull it off. Reason is, these are the only things holding it in place. Really nothing on this side. So lay that to the side, and then you're gonna have 3 screws. There would be one here, here, and here. Go ahead and take your screwdrivers or Phillips and remove these screws, but be careful, because if you drop one like I did, it's gonna fall down underneath the dash, and you may never see it again. So go ahead and pull this up. And the last thing you got to do to take this out of the vehicle is there's this little push clip right here. Push down, wiggle, and pull, and it'll come out. And that's all there is to do to take this off. Now the next thing I'm going to do to actually repair this, I'll remove this plastic with some Phillips head screws and some clips, move that out of the way, and then we're going to be able to reach the capacitors that we need to in order to fix this. Once you have the board inside the house or wherever you're going to do this, go ahead and take off these little Phillips head screws. There are 4 of them. So there's going to be one here, one here, one here, and then one right here. Then as you take it off, start on one end and it'll make it easier to come off. See these little plastic tabs right here? Pop them up, and as you go through this, they'll start lifting. By the time you get to the back, it'll come right off. Now this is as far as you need to go with disassembly. What we're going to replace are these little buckets right here. So there's this one, and then there's a couple more. Now I did this one. This one was a bit of a pain because of this being in the way. In fact, I melted that a little bit. So be careful with that, okay? But it didn't go all the way through. It's going to be fine. But I put that bucket, that capacitor in there. Now I'm going to go after this one. So I'm going to take this off right there. And the way to do that, the neat thing about this, well, neat and not so great. See these little 2 metal pieces right here? They barely stick out on each end of the capacitor. That's what you're going to solder onto. So you take your hot iron, and you just basically lay it right on the solder that's there, and just hold it down till it basically becomes liquid. And it may take a while the first time, and now it is literally liquid there. So I'm going to kind of wiggle to move it off. You'll feel the capacitor getting hot. Yeah, okay, it's liquid. Okay, just moved it. Now I'm going to do the same to this side. Oh, that's a hot meatball. Ah. Might want to get a pair of pliers to kind of wiggle it as you heat up the solder. I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing here in just a bit, just trying to get this nice and hot. I already got one side loose. I'm going to take my plier here, and I'm just going to set it right on the contact. And when I see it turn liquidy, whoop, yeah, it's turning liquidy, I've just got to wiggle, and up it comes. Now let me show you what I'm trying to make come loose. Okay. All right, so here's the bottom of the capacitor. See those two metal pieces there? And when I flip this over, you see it barely sticking out right there. Just barely sticking out. Basically what you're doing is you're applying some solder onto the contact down here. See those where it sat there, that rectangle? You're gonna apply a little bit of solder on there, just kind of pull it up. You're gonna lay the capacitor on it, and then you're gonna heat it up till it turns liquid and let go. Hold down the capacitor, but let go of the soldering iron, raise it up, and it will fuse itself to there. Just sitting on top of basically a pool of solder. Not a lot, just enough. And that's how the solder goes in. In the vehicle now, I'm just plugged it in. Don't have it all the way in, I just want to see that it works. Obviously, got the lights on, and so my speedometer is working there. Okay, inside light just turned off, so let's go ahead and put some power to it. And yes, looks like I did everything right. Let's crank it up. And my RPMs are working, so success. It's working. So that's all there is to it. Just take your time as you're soldering. If you know somebody who does a lot of work with electronics and they, soldering to them is no problem, go ahead and go to them. But I went to Harbor Freight, got a soldering iron. I think it was $9.99 on sale or something like that. I got some solder that they had there that was, pretty cheap. And then I just did like I showed you. It just took some time. I had to undo it a couple of times, desolder and solder again till I got it just right. A pair of needle nose pliers really help to hold everything in place as you're soldering, because those canisters, those little buckets, they get really hot, okay? They just transfer heat. But so far so good. So hopefully, it's already cold outside, but hopefully after it sits all night, that takes care of the problem. And if it does, great. I highly suggest getting more than two, because if you mess one up, you can, you have another one. I'll put links to where I bought this stuff from. And Mailman Mechanic, see you at the mailbox.